The Dallas Cowboys just got back-to-back good news as we go through OTAs, and you're looking at one player that nobody's thinking about, nobody's talking about him, and he is showing out at OTAs already. He's caught the attention of Brian Schottenheimer, your head coach, and this is just a really glowing review on him. Also, a couple other players that should be doing well at OTAs, news on them. And then on top of that, you might be looking at a lot of these injury issues being a thing of the past. You are getting closer and closer to having a team that's fully locked and loaded, fully healthy, going through OTAs and into training camp. I'm going to give you lots of good injury news as well. So let's kind of start with this player that nobody's talking about. Let's talk about Caelen Carson. This is a player that I might have to say, hello, does anyone remember this guy? Because he's kind of a forgotten man when people are talking about Dallas's cornerback room. Understandably so, right? His first 2 years in the league cut short by injuries. He only played in 14 games with only 8 starts so far. I mean, myself, I was wondering, is he even going to make the team? Is he healthy? But now you've got good news on Carson, coupled with Duron Bland recovering from his foot injury that's been nagging him for so long. And man, you have got something happening here. He's getting starters reps in OTAs. He's rotating with Siobhan Ravel. Ravel looks like he's finally going to be healthy. That's a preview on some good news later. He's also going in tandem with Kobe Durant on the outside. Caleb Downs is almost exclusively in the slot so far. But Shoddy, he named Carson as one of the few players who've made plays in the early goings here. And you've got Bland not expected to return until training camp. Good news that he's going to be back right. They've given him the time to fully heal. Carson, he's going to continue to get opportunities, and so far, Shoddy is saying that he's making the most of them. He's one of the few players that are consistently making plays in these young OTAs. This is really good news, to have another contributor, to have another piece of the puzzle as a depth piece within this Dallas secondary. This is really, really good. Now, I think a lot of times we can't see where we are without kind of looking back at where we've been. So let's kind of look back at his setbacks, right? For Carson, he was a 5th round pick out of Wake Forest in 24. Oh, he had a knee hyperextension during training camp last July. It's absolutely missed the entire preseason, the first 6 games of the regular season, and this is also his rookie campaign in 2024. He played in 6 games, nagging shoulder injury. He's just had really bad luck. But let's kind of look at what happened after he went through rehab when he came back from the IR list, and that's back in October of last year. That's against the Washington Commanders. So we can kind of look at what he did following that game. He took a few games to reacclimate, but then by November, you started to see who Carson could really be. He started getting significant snaps, highly productive 60-snap performance in Week 11. And he tied for a team leading 2 passes deflected. This is when he started to come into his own. I didn't know this was his nickname, but his nickname is Seatbelt for his tight coverage skills. He's got to solidify himself in this rotation. And if this continues, I think you're going to see like a kid that's absolutely going to be a difference maker in this secondary, because as the season goes on, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have depth concerns. And to have a player like, the Seatbelt, starting to ball out, starting to round into the player that he was showing himself to be when he was drafted, I think this is just a really good thing. So let's get to the other winners so far in OTAs, and the player that I'm talking about is a player that should be a winner so far. Let's talk about Caleb Downs. The thing about him is that Shoddy said about him that this is a player that never makes the same mistake twice. That's the greatest compliment that you can give to a young player, and Shoddy readily gave it. Now, as far as OTAs, he has forced a turnover. He has blowed up some plays in the backfield. He has broken up a pass. But the splash plays, they're going to come, right? This is why he was drafted. But I just like what his teammates are saying about him as well. This is from Quinnen Williams. He has all the tools, man. He has all the things that you want from a guy to come in and make an immediate impact. He's humble, he's ready to learn, and this is just really, really, really good to hear. Now, we have these other injuries kind of becoming a thing of the past. I talked yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about Ravel. He's finally here, you guys. He is finally here to be the aggressive and smart and fast player that the Dallas Cowboys drafted. Absolutely no leg brace, absolutely no limitations whatsoever that you're seeing, and I cannot wait to see what he looks like on the field now that this bulky brace on his left leg is done. ACL rehab is done, and you're going to see a player that, even though he's not fully ramping up during OTAs, the coaching staff is already seeing that saying that they're seeing the fluidity and motion and just exactly the type of player that they know he can be. He's telling reporters that his knee is 100% healthy. This is what Ravel had to say about having a healthy offseason. It's very beneficial because I can clean up a lot of things, a lot of errors I didn't see last year, or errors that I did see last year that I could clean up this year. We've got a new coaching staff. They're very detailed now, very technical. It seems like players are really commenting on the different coaching staff on the defense, like that they are kind of saying without saying that under Flus, it was an absolute train wreck. So, and being a Chicago Bears fan, I can say it's absolutely true. So let's get back to what Ravel had to say. When it comes to things, each day is intentional to get better. That's what I feel like I've been doing. Of course, there's some things I need to work on. My knee's 100% though. So now it's time to focus on situational ball, and I've got to see what I need to fix or get better at. So now you're going to see players back. You're going to see Donovan back. Thankful for that. You're going to see Duron Bland back. You're going to see Ravel back. You're going to see a player like Downs developing into a stud in the secondary. You're going to see a contributor like Carson coming back healthy, ready to play. Just enjoying this first healthy offseason as an NFL player, that's got to be absolutely awesome for Ravel's confidence as well. And that's something that teammates have been talking about as well. This looks like a guy that has his swagger back, coming back on the field. Shoddy had a few things to say about being like kind of, I guess I would say ultra cautious about bringing back Bland, about bringing back Donovan. Let's hear what he had to say about this and also his expected timeline. Both guys are doing great. It's more of us taking precautions and being smart. You know, they both want to get out here. But again, it's OTAs. It's more important that they're learning the scheme and system and all that as opposed to them going out there and getting a tea lunch. Missing practice time is never ideal, especially for two players we're counting on. But we're looking at these two guys. They are in the advanced stages of their recoveries. Now, they're limited to band work right now, but they're still able to absorb the scheme. And you look at all the additions on this defense, from Barham to Malachi Lawrence, also the veterans that have been brought in, and Thompson and other guys. On top of that, you bring back a player like Bland, you bring back a player like Donovan, all of these guys coming back, Ravel as well, all these guys coming back, ready to go. I'm not going to say this defense is going to be a team strength, but I think this defense is going to make some noise. I think you guys are going to make some noise in the NFL this year. I think these are just really, really good signs that this team is going to be locked and loaded and ready to go. You guys as fans should be really excited about this team, and I share that excitement. I'm going to continue to be here on the daily. I'm so thankful that you've grown this channel, this community so quickly. Keep hitting the subscribe and like button. I'll keep churning out videos. And also in the comments, if you want to hear me break down something specific about your Dallas Cowboys, just say so. I'd be happy to do it. Happy to cover this team, and we'll talk soon. See you tomorrow.